Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Upsurge Minor League. We are here with week one of our playoff games. First match is, of course, going to be between Why Are You Running and Exertion Gaming. I am Joe Helmite Silva, joined here tonight by Elton XT Mock, and I think we're expecting a bit of a back and forth one on this one.
Oh yeah, definitely. First of all, happy to be back here. It has been quite a while since I've been on the Upsurge desk here. But yes, we got a fun little matchup here today while you're running versus Exertion Gaming on patch 10.7. Just released about 2 days ago. Am I right there? Yeah.
Wednesday, yes.
Wednesday. All right. So yesterday. I was close. We'll we'll get there eventually. But we are looking at a wonderful match here today, and it should be a great one.
Yeah, really excited to see how this plays out. Now, obviously, with everyone staying indoors, there's been a lot more practice time, so we should see some really interesting drafts this time around because 10-7 did just come out yesterday. Teams have had plenty of time to practice on it, and there are, I think, a few things you wanted to talk about in terms of priorities for both these teams going into 10-7 the first week of games.
Yeah, before we even start with draft, it's kind of hard to say what both these teams will go for. Both while you're running Extortion has had kind of a focus on a lot more comfort picks than most teams that I've seen here in the UML. Some things to kind of note with Extortion, or 2 weeks ago actually. Got to remember the last time these teams played in Upsurge was about 2 weeks ago when 10.1 or 6 was first released, and 10.7 thankfully isn't really changing too much. So I am expecting some interesting picks here and there that could be hidden in pocket. But we also have some other meta picks that we always have to consider that haven't been changed since 10.6. How might we got the Senna still, the Fast Senna still being a very popular bot lane strategy. We got Orange still being the flavor of the month basically for any team, given how much he gives. And we also have junglers like the Grag is still continuing to become probably the most dominant jungler in the game. And the buffs to Nimbus Cloak that happened last patch has definitely made the game a lot more, I guess, fast, if there's a better word to put it. But either way, very excited to see what both teams pull out here. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, certainly fast in more ways than one. Obviously, getting that chilling smite down, get the bonus movement speed, and then catch up to somebody. And really
Mm-hmm.
big benefit for those aggressive early game junglers, Pantheon, Elise, the Olaf, even. Lots of these junglers starting to pick it up and doing quite well for themselves in the early stages of the game. So I would expect to see some of them. But we are here hopping into Champion Select for game one between Why Are You
Oh
Running and
boy.
Exertion. Aurelia, first ban, already off the table. And what else are we looking to see these teams take away?
Well, what I'm kind of looking at here is I would expect to see maybe a Diana. Oh, and there's a Diana. These bans are going by fast. So Extortion right now are batting away a lot of comfort pick, or both teams actually are batting away a lot of comfort picks here. While you're running the Nivea game 2 on their match last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry. While Irelia and Diana both actually very are contested picks. Diana more so for both teams here, but Irelia was pulled out by Extortion Gaming. Blade of the Rune King changes have made her very, very strong. In fact, that is the item you generally rush on her, and taking her away is probably a good idea. And it looks like there's a lot of mid lane priority for both teams, which is really interesting, given how mid lane is generally a pick you save for the last, since both solo lanes are generally a role that you want to counter pick. So very interesting here to start things off.
Yeah, lots of mid lane bans, as you mentioned. Kassadin going to be taken away as well, and the Malzahar on the side of Exertion now sitting on their
Yep.
last ban. They will
And
remove the
there's Senna.
Senna, which we talked about a little bit, so no fasting Senna on this game. Why are you
Right.
running now with their first pick? I mean, are we expecting a mid laner here to start with? No, of course
No.
not. Aphelios was up, and that's going to be locked in, but set
Yeah.
now on the table, potentially. Ornn, Gragas, lots of good things here for Exertion.
Yeah, exactly. We got a lot of other picks can get here. You don't have to pick bot lane right now. Misfortune is still available if you want to get the MF Aphelios lane, or Varus too. I would expect maybe an Ornn or set here, and maybe a jungler here too. The Gragas was ran by Extortion last week. The Gragas Yasuo, so we could maybe look at something like that. But we will have to see. The Ornn got to get locked in, and it's basically 10.6 standard. I'm like, every team's running the Ornn because of how much gold value it gives after level 13.
Yeah, the absolute best tank in the game, all of that extra scaling, all of that extra durability and engage, but that's only one of their picks they're going to get here, so why are you running? Really valuing the Aphelios, but the Gragas is going to go over, so Exertion with the Beef Boys on the front side, one of the best junglers in the game. Now back over to why are you running? And what are we looking for them to answer back with now that the jungle and the top laner have been locked in?
So Exertion actually ran the Gragas Yasuo 2 weeks ago. So while you're running, may look to pick or prepare for the Yasuo, or maybe even take it away. Right now, though, I think there are some picks you want to keep in mind. The best support I think you get for your bang of your buck will not be locked in. It's actually going to be Braum here. I actually had that support in mind, and I completely forgot it. So I'm going to ignore everything I just said earlier. But Braum, definitely a really good pick right here for 10.6 or 10.7, sorry. Does counter Ornn, does counter the Gragas, does provide utility, and set going to be locked in. Can be flexed to top or jungle, but same thing. Ornn can also be flexed top, jungle, mid, or support. Leonel is also going to get locked in as kind of pick the Braum, and I expect to see more mid lane bans here at this point. Very standard draft so far, nothing out of the ordinary.
No, lots of picks we would expect to see getting banned out or picked up. Also important to note, I don't believe we mentioned this at the beginning of the game. Wukong is disabled for the duration of playoffs following his rework, and Fiddlesticks is also currently disabled. So those champions will not be cropping up. Hopping back into pick ban though,
oh my
Kiana,
gosh.
Veigar, Victor. The mid lane bans here are coming thick and fast. Why are you running now with their last ban, thinking that over? But we might see another mid laner taken out.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. The Rise is going to go out as well. So lots of mid lane bans here, and going to be really interesting to see what they decide to bring out.
And all these mid lane bans are ultimately going to be favoring Exertion, because in the end, they have the counter pick. They have the opportunity to answer what Why You're Running put on the table. I think Exertion here, though, may also look to pick the Yasuo up here, too, if they want to. But we will have to see. Yasuo could also be flexed to ADC. But, Project going to be locking in that Kai'Sa. Did get a little bit of buffs, but did have an extremely good Kai'Sa game last week against First Blood Knights. His scoreline, he had like a 9 KDA or something, like a 15, 3, and 13. I expect him to be popping off here. And I think this is a lane where, Kai'Sa does fit into the comp quite well. She has a lot of front line to help repeal and a lot of setup. While you're running, they're forced to pick in that blind pick mid lane where they'll be locking the Cassiopeia, and they will also be looking to lock in the jungler here. They could look to maybe pick something like the Pantheon or the Trundle, who are both quite strong right now, but who knows?
Would not be surprised to see the Trundle, given the front line that Exertion has. And yes, there it is. That will be locked in for the jungle, most likely. Exertion now, they do finally have the last counter pick here. A lot of the powerful mid laners, though, despite all the mid lane bans, Syndra is still open, Zoe is still open, LeBlanc is still open, and Exertion is going to get their pick of the litter here, so what they want. But they say, no, we don't care about any of them. We want the Yasuo.
Yeah, it's going to be the Yasuo Gragas. Exertion pulled it off last week. If you like Exertion, on paper, they have a lot of good synergy with the competition. They have a lot of ways to start these team fights. And, this is a strategy to pull it out to get that 2-0 win against First Blood Knights in their last week of regular season. While you're running, you look at their composition, it just has a lot of strong 10.7 compositions. While there isn't really a lot of true synergy, all these champions are really good on their own and are not going to be susceptible to picks. In fact, While You're Running, I think are more likely to be taking a lot more picks 4v4 skirmishes and whatnot. But either way, both these team compositions right now looking very good for this first match here in our first week of playoffs in the UML.
Yeah, gonna be a really explosive matchup. I gotta think there's a lot of options here for both these teams to both start fights and to say no thank you. I think you have a lot of ability from Exertion, especially with things like the Gragas Barrel or the Leona, to just say, no, we don't want to take this fight. Why are you running, though? Difficult to engage into, because the Cassiopeia really likes it when teams try to fight her on her own turf. You have the Braum to peel backwards, block things like the Ornn. So gonna be interesting to see how Exertion deals with this.
Yeah, Exertion definitely has a very simple composition to pull off, but While You're Running definitely has a lot of answers to counter engage, mainly in the Braum, Cassiopeia, and Destet. All right, and even Aphelios. In fact, all of While You're Running's composition is extremely good against counter engage here, and I think the story for season 10, more or less, or at least the first half of the season, is that we've been seeing a lot of people run a lot of counter-engage compositions, Braum being one of those picks that has been quite popular for some time for these counter-engage compositions, simply because how much disruption he could get with his Unbreakable Shield or his Glacial Fissure. So I'm really looking forward to seeing on how While You're Running responds to Exertion. And one mistake from Exertion could really cost him this match, as they don't really have a lot of ways to get out of a fight, but they have a lot of ways to get into a fight. So one composition is looking to snowball, another composition is looking to just, put a stop to that.
Exactly. Now, it will not be the Gragas Yasuo lane on the bottom side. They are going to be running the Kai'Sa Leona by the looks of it. So,
of course.
Yeah, so a bit of an interesting situation here. And between that and the Aphelios, obviously did take a couple hits over the last few patches, so maybe not quite as strong as he was, but still really good. And gonna be really excited to see how this 2v2 pans out, because I don't know if Exertion has what it takes to deal with the power of the Braum Aphelios.
Yeah, Braum Aphelios is going to be an extremely safe lane. It's going to be really hard for Exertion to find a lot of ways to get advantages in that lane. Aphelios is just so safe of a laner, and he has a lot of ways to kind of just stop any engage coming in from Leona, while Braum, as a matter of fact, is more than happy to take some of these fights from Leona usually. And Kai'Sa does take a little bit to kind of scale up, does have to get a Mirror Mana, and against his Rage Blade Power Spike in order to really come online, unless she decides to go for Storm Razor. Well, I feel like he only really needs to buy Essence Reaver, and he's already going to be pretty much set for the game. So the biggest thing between these two ADCs, that Aphelios is a blind pick that can really fit into any composition because of how much utility it gives. Well, this is a composition for Exertion that really lives or dies by the Kai'Sa, and maybe the Yasuo too. So I'm very interested to see on how this laning phase goes. I think it favors while you're running for the first half of the game, but if Kai'Sa is not shut down, or if while you're running make a huge mistake, Projecki on this Kai'Sa is going to be more than happy to take that advantage.
Yeah, Projecki, I think, is going to be where all eyes turn for Exertion. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but very, very solid on this Kai'Sa. Has some good performances over the last couple of weeks here. So a lot of this game is going to be on his shoulders here. And I do think it's important to highlight, though, why are you running still with a lot of scaling on their team? So even if this does go late, the Kai'Sa gets all of her items. The Yasuo hits his power spike. Cassiopeia going to be doing a ton of damage. The Aphelios, obviously, is a very, very solid pick. And the Trundle, I think, is going to have the advantage of taking away a lot of those orange stats and saying, yeah, sure, you got more armor. That's my armor now.
Yeah, the great thing about Trundle is that he has a lot of great synergies with the current available tools in 10.7 and before. Mainly speaking, Nimbus Cloak gives a lot of great mobility to Trundle if he does decide to use Challenge Smite or Challenge Smite to really help cover the distance and make it very hard for his opponents to really get away, but also being a very, very good counter pick to likes of the Orange Sejuani or many more tank picks that we see in 10.7. The thing is that both teams do have kind of that, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of that insurance, you got the Ornn level 13 gold difference, I guess. You got the Ornn difference, and then over at while you're running, you got a lot of really hard scaling champions here. So, honestly, this game could go either way, but I expect this game to really pop off in the mid game. I don't really expect anything to be happening in this early game.
Yeah, so quiet early game into a pop-off mid-game here is going to be the guess. I would probably agree with that, but we'll have to see. Neither of these teams, I think, really want to back down from each other. I think we are going to see some skirmishing, especially given that we have some aggressive junglers. But we'll have to wait and see until we get into game. Before we go, we're going to take a quick break and give you guys a quick look at one of our sponsors, Sector 6.
Started with a vision. A vision of quality, a vision of uniformity. We took the time to create something familiar yet refreshing, something with a bit of change.
Designed to fit any brand's unique vision.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the Rift for Game 1 of Why Are You Running versus Exertion Gaming. Of course, on the blue side, we do have Why Are You running up towards the top side of the map, 5-man stack. Smartest up in the top lane, Mike Oxmall in the jungle, Lord Reeves mid lane, Justify at 80 carry, and Dr. Monocle the support.
Oh, hell no, I hate to cut you off here, but I think we have an invade.
Yeah, not even going to give us time to do the introduction here. Tentakai is going to get spotted. Dr. Monocle there, but the winner's bite misses. Tentakai walks out.
Yeah, and immediately you see the punish coming out from Exertion Gaming, which, by the way, we got Tentakai in the top, Obelisk in the mid jungle, True in the mid lane, Projecki in the ADC, and Seawolf playing support. Yeah, with Braum, Aphelios, and Trundle, level 1, I could see the invade happening, and I think the level 1, the response from Exertion very appropriate. They get some wards in the enemy team red side jungle too, and yeah, we almost saw first blood, but thankfully everyone from Why You're Running whiffed everything, so Tentakai can live another day.
Well, that's that big disadvantage on the Braum, right? You have the pressure's on you. If you don't land that Winter's Bite, it's a really easy way to just walk out and say, yeah, no, I don't really care. So back to regular starts. We do have the top side start here for Obelisk, so a little different. Might be trying to look to path down towards the bottom side, and Tentakai actually taking that leash, taking the ward as well. So pretty standard starts here for both these teams, despite the early engage.
Yeah, and something I do kind of want to note is that Tentakai taking the Unsealed Spellbook kind of tells me one or two things. He's not really going to be trading a lot with Set into top side, and he's probably going to be looking to concede a lane a little bit. He doesn't want to really fall behind. So Set or Smartest 2 into top side should be looking to have a lot of fun in the lane, since he doesn't really have to worry about aggressive and dying trades. But we'll check back in the top lane later. I don't really expect a lot to be happening here, as I think a lot of this game is going to be headed towards, you know, probably in the mid jungle synergy, along with seeing if Projecki doesn't get punished at the bottom.
Right, definitely a lot more interest down on the bottom side of the map. Is a bit of a trade here on the top side. Tentakai taking that true damage, taking a little low here, but he's going to be all right. But yeah, definitely looking more for the bottom side of the map here, especially in the 2v2 or in the mid lane. Talking about a little bit with Projecki, might have had some kill threat, but didn't take the Hail of Blades, opted for the safer press the attack. So just going to be some farming. So instead, it's going to be all about True and Obelisk versus Mike Oxmall and Lord Reeves.
Usually you want the Hail Blades, or most cases are starting to take Hail Blades down because they want to get some extra healing with Ravenous Hunter now and Taste of Blood, and also getting that early attack speed does help trading quite a bit if Kaisa wants to get ahead, as she doesn't really have a lot of early game pressure, especially due to her low range. But against a matchup like the Aphelios, and since Braum is going to probably be denying a lot of the opportunities along with cleanse onto this Aphelios, Projecki is going to be looking to opt into the scaling side, which is totally fine. You know, you're not really looking to get a ton of early game pressure here in this game anyways, with a lot of responses from While You're Running, so totally acceptable, I think, and we should, you know, see how that all pans out. But we talked about on Champ Select how we aren't really going to be a lot, probably until like the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, going to be teams playing it safe here. A little bit of an invasion from Mike Oxmall in the jungle there, checking the Raptor can't get in the ward down. And meanwhile, looking at the mid lane here, RDS Predator going to be able to get the damage in. Lord Reeves forced to flash away, but a teleport coming through. And Mike Oxmall was there as well. Now Smartest 2, he's trying to chase down a True. True should be dead to rights here, but he's going to be on the run. The flash is actually going to come through. A flash to follow, and another one as well. True has no way out. He's going to go down. First blood handed over to Lord Reeves. Very nicely executed by Why Are You Running?
I think Exertion are more than happy to trade 3 flashes for 1 death. But I think in reality, True, I don't think he had the flasher. He was already caught out of position there. Teleporter expanded by Smartest, which does help Tentakai quite a little bit. But overall, the first mid-jungle interaction we see in the game, and it does favor Lord Reeves quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely going to be able to accelerate him towards that tier in the early mana that Cassiopeia likes to get. And I do think you're right. I don't think True had to take that flash. He was probably dead, but really wanted to make sure he could try and survive, and got multiple flashes for it. So maybe that's the play, is saying, I'll burn my flash to get 2 of yours.
Yeah.
The ultimate debate.
Yeah, you always got to remember, you know, Cassiopeia is a little bit, you know, immobile, doesn't really have legs, doesn't have flash, and, you know, she's going to be susceptible to burst. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Dragon is going to get started here by Obelisk. Trundle is quite a far ways out, but I don't think this is something my Exertion want to take.
Yeah, they're going on to Monocle here, but he's taking
Oh,
quite a
Alex
bit of damage
down.
here, actually. Finally gets the Guardian, and now Mike's Oxmal is there. Dr. Monocle will survive, gets the heal. Now Seawolf, the target of aggression here, he's forced to flash away, does not get quite rooted up. Obelisk, though, took a punishment.
Oh,
from
that's
that
so
Drake.
greedy.
Drew has finally roamed down. They're trying to make this play happen on the backside, but they are going to get rooted up. Tentakai now has teleported in, trying to use his own global, but at the end of the day, both teams have to walk away. Summoner spells expended.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see why both teams are committing so much for this early dragon when Exertion get their power spike in about like a level. I think right now if they fight, they're
Yeah, Tentakai trying to get through. He does break down to the pillar here, but Justify doing a bunch of damage. Now, Obelisk goes for the flag, but he misses. Lord Reeves takes him down, and now Exertion, they are still trying to look for the play here. The turret is going to try and break up the team fight a little bit. Wolf goes down, and now Trundle, he's going in on the Projecki. He's trying to finish off this kill. I don't think he's going to have quite enough, not enough auto attacks to come through unless he can get one more chomp off. That will be there. The Drake is going to go down. Projecki finally forced to expend that flash. Huge team fight here for Why Are You Running?
Exertion take a fight they never needed to take it to first place. Once again, first dragon isn't really that beneficial to most teams because once again, you don't get a stack of bonuses, and it's a very minuscule bonus you get into early game. It's not really worth contesting for, but you get a level 5 Ornn teleporting to bot side in a completely unwinnable, like a completely bad spot. Only joins up with the team. And then Exertion just take a fight they don't win at all. No ultimates on their team at all when they pop off in the mid game. They try to take an early game fight. They get completely dominated by the Cassiopeia, along with Justify just having a lot of range. Not only that, they concede a lot of pressure up top. Just a lot of bad things happening for Exertion. I wouldn't be surprised if they just flat out lose until like the 25-minute mark because of that one singular play.
Yeah, it was a lot of desperation, it looked like, for that Drake. Like, we have to get this or we lose the game, but they didn't have to, like you said.
Yeah.
And instead, they concede a lot of pressure. Now, they do have some safe lanes. They do have the ability to try and scale, but...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Smartest, too. Is going to get the pullback here. Tentakai taking some damage. He is going to go for the showstopper. Pile drives him under the tower, but can't get the kill. And Ignite is in. Tentakai picks that one up. A little bit more bitten off than Smartest could chew.
Yeah.
And Exertion will be happy to get some gold back.
Yeah, Tentakai definitely was in a really bad spot there, but unfortunately Smartest did not, or kind of whiffed everything, I guess. But either way, that top lane kind of happened, and I'm just going to move past it. But basically, this is right now the Why You Running's lead to lose, and plays like that in the top side is something you don't really want to be seeing from Why You Running. And now Tentakai kind of bounced back. You know, he lost a lot of waves after that teleport. He was at level 5. He was expecting to get fully punished here. But look at this. A freeze happening from Justify right now is going to make Projecki continue to fall further and further behind. It's the carries I'm really looking out here. Justify and Lord Reeves. They are the people who are just basically going to be carrying Why You're Running forward.
Yeah, already doing quite well for themselves. 3-0 on Lord Reeves. Not at all what you want to see out of a pick that can scale so well, like this Cassiopeia can. Now with the blue buff handed over, we'll just be able to keep shoving in True. And we'll have to see how Why Are You Running use this lead. They know they're ahead. Now they have to try and translate that into sort of the mid-game dominance to prevent the pop-off that Exertion we're looking to get.
Yep, but now a fight got to be happening on bot side.
Yeah, here we go. Predator, Obelisk looking for Justify. He will be able to get the knockback. Justify giving up on life there. He knows he's going to go down, and Projecki picks that one up. Exertion finds something back for themselves. Now True on the bottom side of the map. They might look to try and shove this in.
Yeah, Justify, had the freeze going, sees Kai'Sa back in, wants to go for the greedy play, shoving a big wave under Kai'Sa's tower for make her lose all that experience. But unfortunately, Gragas, was going to be there to kind of just stop that from happening at all. And Justify now loses a little bit there. 3 people up top. Tentakai in a little bit of trouble. He does have to call the Forge God, but I don't think this dive is happening because, they already messed up on one thing. They don't want to mess up on anything, or they got to play a little safe.
Yeah, would be quite risky. You can see them backing off. They decide against it, as that is a very healthy Ornn call. The Forge got in his pocket, like you said, but that was still Herald secured. So Why Are You Running do have the option of going for first tower blood, getting some more of those plates, especially if they choose to drop it in a lane like mid or bot, which they already kind of have advantages in.
Yeah, also a very interesting item choice here from Starness too. He doesn't go for the Merc Treads, he just goes for the Negatron Cloak straight up, and now a fight gonna be happening
Here
at
we
top.
go. Team by topside. Call the Forge God does come out, and Seal taking the damage here. He is going to get the pile driver back in, but I don't think Smartest 2 is long for this world. He gets the pull
that's
in.
the guy.
He's getting the kill. He almost survived, but Triumph was not quite enough, and now Mike Oxmal trying to trade the damage back around. He can't get it. Forced to flash away from the Solar Flare. True now on the bottom side of the map, looking for the knock-up, looking for the last breath. The cleanse comes through for Justify, though, which should help keep him safe.
Yeah,
These
a lot
teams are not hesitant about pulling the trigger.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that both these teams are fighting this early. Once again, there's not really a lot on the line. You know, you're committing so much for so little, but at the end of the day, it just turns out to be a 1-for-1. And wow, you know, something really talk about the mid game here for Exertion. Once again, you got to respect the fact Gragas going to be very, very strong, along with the Yasuo to get the combination off, and along with Ornn being level 6, it's going to be really, really nice. Mike is going to be looking to get Rift Herald. He might get punished for it. 2v1.
Yeah, Predator is on. Mike Oxmal, he tries to use the pillar assault for a little bit more time. There's no way out for him.
That's so greedy.
Yeah, really, really greedy play. They give that one over to True, but there was a lot of damage dealt to the mid lane tower. A bunch of plate gold did go over to him, and this should still be first tower blood for Why Are You Running?
Yeah, and Projecki going to be topside all by himself. Does have Summoners up, but I don't think this turret is going to be long for the world. Cassiopeia is just one auto away. As a result of that, now Exertion Gaming finally get their first dragon. It's going to be Mountain. It's going to provide him a little bit of a buff here. But the thing I want to see is that if this is a Cloud Drake, this changes the game quite dramatically, but let's see what we get.
Yeah, we'll be quite excited to see. It is going to be Infernal, so not the Cloud you were hoping for, but still going to be a lot of damage around in this game.
Yeah, damage is going to be quite helpful here, and will basically benefit everyone.
Justify bad spot here. He's going to get dashed on. He's going to go down. Dr. Monocle now forced to burn the flash on his own. Projecki actually goes for him. A bad Unbreakable can't keep him safe. Projecki picks up the double kill there.
Yeah.
Exertion, they get the Drake, they get the kill here, and looking for True here as well. Smartest 2.
Yeah.
Now it looks like this will be an easy walk away from True.
True's out of here.
Yeah.
Goodness. So now this is we've kind of reached a point where Exertion are more than happy to start taking these fights. They have all their ultimates up, and the composition relies a lot on these ultimates being able to set up a lot of plays for the Yasuo and the Kai'Sa here. And Kai'Sa also got to be looking for the Storm Razor. He's going to be looking for that early burst damage. And I think it really makes sense. You were already a little bit behind with the early game. You were expecting to having to play the catch-up game. So you don't want to get punished by getting the more mana. You want to instead... Oh, no, she gets the Essence React. I completely forgot. So she might be going for the 40% Kai'Sa build instead. And really does make sense. Once again, you know, you look at Exertion Gaming, the composition is very ability-focused. And we are probably going to be seeing a Nashor's 2 after the Ginsu's for that 40% for this Kai'Sa. And, you know, once again, kind of solves the problem not having Mana Immune, but another fight.
There you go. Justify caught out again.
Get a break.
He's just dead. No chance in hell.
Yeah.
The Leona there, the Obelisk is there as well. And this is now going to be the pushback on the mid side. Nothing Justify could do. Lord Reeves finally rotating over, but 4 minutes strong. Call the Forge God is available, but they look like they want to try to take the fight anyways. Here it comes. Lord Reeves on the backside here. This is going to be the Ram blocked out. Now Seawolf is going to be taking up the tower.
Oh, that was
down
bad
the tower as well. And now Obelisk, he's taking some damage. Lord Reeves trying to finish him off. The damage reduction from the Drunken Rage keeps him safe. And this is going to be the dive flubbing here from Exertion.
Their goal was to take out Lord Reeves, but unfortunately Projecki was not in range to follow up with an Obelisk's initial burst onto the Cassiopeia, so that just led to a lot of a disconnect, and unfortunately the dive just botches here. Projecki should be safe. Don't think anything else will come from him, but look at the bot side.
Yeah, they are looking for the play here.
RKO.
Showstopper is going to be used to avoid the tornado. Gets the auto attack reset, and he takes down True Smartest 2 with the solo kill.
Yeah, right now True doesn't really have the damage to kind of constantly laning against the set. Set right now is basically at a point where he's going to be really, really hard to kill after that phage. Once again, the more health you build on set, the more powerful he becomes because of his synergy with the grit. But the biggest thing is, once again, Why You're Running started off this game initially having an insane start. You know, once again, you've burned so much after a bad fight from Exertion. But a lot of the plays happening from Why You're Running has kind of backfired him. And Exertion also has been kind of trading bad plays here and forth. So both these teams making a lot of uncommon mistakes. But in the long run, still, you got to realize Why You're Running still in the lead. They do have the solo lane advantage, but I think this is a fight you don't want to take.
Yeah, and they realize it too, trying to jump to
Someone's dead
safety here with the Stand United as Dr. Monocle is going to get body blocked out True decides to not pull the trigger on that. Probably a good choice. Braum is a dude you want to try and assassinate. So
that was more of a good unbreakable, if anything. Because I believe it blocked, or you just blocked a projectile straight up from the Gragas, so he doesn't go behind anyway. So good for you.
yeah, very nicely done. And hey, for once, the team's decided we don't want to take this fight. This is a bad fight for us because, like you were kind of saying, these teams have not shied away from at least trying something, even when it's a bad idea.
Yeah, Cassiopeia right now is definitely not in the, the cast zone or whatever people would call it. She's still working on that tier. Only really has the Leandri's Torment, so isn't really going to be doing too much. Along with Aphelios not really finishing an item yet. You got to realize Justify started off the game quite well for himself, but unfortunately has been caught out one too many times. Once in mid lane, once in the bot lane. That's kind of bit him in the back because now Projecki no longer really being held back and doesn't opt for the Monomune to scale up. Goes for the immediate burst damage here with the Essence Reaver, and now is going to be a huge threat compared to Justify. So, this is definitely a game to watch. And in the mid game, I would expect more fights to really pop up here, as both teams would enjoy a Inferno Soul under their belt. But this is currently going to be a Rift Herald going to be going over to Why You Running.
Yeah, so why are you running? Second Rift Herald of the game here to help continue opening up the map. There is still that outer tower if they would decide they just want to break that and give them some pressure before the Drake. Have to see how they decide to use that. But Dr. Monocle, jukes out, barely avoids the Zenith Blade here. And vision control now, though, importantly for Exertion.
Oh, fight might break out.
Yeah, trying to stall that off with the pillar here as the 3-man last breath lands, and this is
trying
to go in there looking for the play. Justify taking a ton of damage. He gets run over by the Ram. Now set in the middle of the fight here. There's not a lot he can do. He gets the slam back on a big target here. Huge Cassiopeia ultimate is going to stun up a whole bunch. They're trying to take the rest of the fight. Tentakai is going to be able to get the knock up here. Kills traded back and forth. So far, 2 for 1 in favor. The pullback now into True. Seawolf goes back over the wall. He's trying to finish off the frag and does get it. But now the pillar pins back Seawolf. Projecki's all by himself. He's going to get slowed up from the Chilling Smite here. He gets slowed up from the Chomp, flashing away, taking the kill with the proc of the Summoner, or of the Rune. My apologies. Very, very bloody fight. Why are you running? Barely come out ahead.
Yeah, to start that fight off, they immediately get to pick onto Justify, but unfortunately, Cassiopeia is just free to do as much damage she pleases to the front line here. And once again, this Cassiopeia does have the Leandris, so it does help quite a lot against tanks like the Ornn and the Leona, but she isn't really going to be at that stage yet where she's going to be a threat to everyone. But the situation definitely did favor the Cassiopeia, regardless if she had damage or not. Really helped her out for the remainder of that fight. Unfortunately, the rest of Exertion aren't able to deal with the Cassiopeia, and they just get picked off one by one. But Projecki doesn't really have the attack speed yet to really be melting everyone down. But we might just see another fight here in Infernal.
Yeah, here we go. Infernal health dropping down below 2,000. This should be an easy secure here for Exertion. They will be able to take it as here they go. A huge last breath.
Very nice.
Annihilate the health bars here. And this is going to be a really terrible fight. Smartest2 doing the best he can. He trades a bunch of True damage on the backside, but he should be going down. Mike Oxmal does take down True, but here comes Seawolf. He is going to get the stun up on the Lord Reeves. The Cassiopeia has nowhere they can go. Now Mike Oxmal is going to be the subject of aggression. He goes down. A clean ace is picked up here for Exertion Gaming. They turn it on.
That fight wouldn't have been possible without Seawolf completely just zoning Lord Reeves from the fight, and there was no way for the Cassiopeia to help out their team when that Ornn Yasuo knockup happened, which, by the way, very, very well done by both Tentakai and True there. And, once again, this is a very ability-focused composition here for Exertion Gaming. They want to get those wombo combos off, and unfortunately, for, Why You're Running, their composition really only works when they're able to respond efficiently. And over there, Justify gets burst down, and as a matter of fact, does use the ultimate, but just does no damage whatsoever. It is a complete non-factor. And Cassiopeia, the main damage source, once again, amazing job by Seawolf for zoning him out throughout the whole entire fight. And they get to shut down onto Lord Reeves too. So Projecki, gotta keep in mind, this is the perfect game for him. He finally has the front line. He's getting so much gold. We thought he was going to be behind Hell Might, but nope.
Not so much. Evidently, we can't sleep on Projecki's Kaisa yet, as that was a really big fight. He's now 6-0, has the Essence Reaver completed, going for the Nashor's Tooth, next. should be in quite a big spot. We'll have to keep our eyes on him, but that just goes to show the power of Exertion. We said they wanted to be initiating, they wanted to be the ones engaging, and they've been able to pull it off consistently in these fights.
Yeah, and once again, we can't take away from while you're running these competitions. You have a really good way of disengaging. If only their champions were at the stage to be able to disengage, because they could not afford to take the fight. Once again, they just came back from a really, really big fight, and a lot of the ultimates, for while you're running, sure, were up, but they don't really have as much of an impact yet because they haven't hit their spikes, Cassiopeia is still working on it, and she gets zoned out, and this Aphelios is, unfortunately really, really behind. They used a Rift Herald here. It's not really going to do much. Kind of a desperation Rift Herald at that point. Something I would have liked to see, though, if it was a little bit different, just drop that Rift Herald mid and then make Exertion think about what they do. They take the Dragon, they lose their second inhibitor turret because, you got to make them think. But no, they took the fight. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out in their favor. And while you're running now, going to be at the backseat.
Yeah, definitely on the backseat here, trying to defend their top outer tower. Looks like they will be able to keep it alive, but very, very low HP. Could have done something else with the Herald instead, like you said, to try and make pressure elsewhere on the map, but just responding to the pressure.
Yeah.
An important note here as well, why are you running? They do have the tools to respond to these engages, like you were mentioning, but Cassiopeia is still in the tier of the goddess power trough. Justify has been really shut down. They don't have the damage to take these fights yet.
Yeah, but the only one I really think this game favors right now is Smartest, because he could be a really good push, right? He's actually going the Wit's End as his next item. And it's a little bit uncommon, especially when there's, when you're in the side lane. I wouldn't imagine magic damage or stacking MR wouldn't really help Smartest too much. I think just Tenacity would have been good with the Merc Shreds here, but why not just get more magic damage or magic resist here? It gets to counter the Kai'Sa quite a bit, but I don't imagine he's going to be able to stack that fast enough in a quick team fight. I would have maybe liked to see later Rune King along with like a Spirit Visage or something, but Smartest, he's been popping off, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, until he starts losing these fights, can't complain too much about the build he's gone for. So. But I do agree. I think maybe in a power now optimization instead of the item that's going to help him out later in the game. But we'll have to see.
Oh, Hellmite, do you hear that? Do you hear that in your ears?
Yeah.
It's time. It's time for Ornn to be level 13.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta, just when we thought this game was going even, this game is about to be or get a little bit more hard, because this Ornn is about to get his power spike. But the good news is that the main carries for Exertion do not have upgradable Ornn just yet. And we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon for the Kai'Sa. I was hoping we would get an earlier IE from True, but he is getting that Sterax for staying. But now look at this, Baron's going to get started. Fight might break out in River.
Yeah,
this does favor Exertion.
Yeah, Predator was burned. The Baron has not quite reset yet. They're staying on top of it, using the turret to try and zone things out. This is actually bottom side focus here for Exertion. The Kai'Sa and the Gragas are both on bottom side. This is Exertion conceding the Baron in exchange for maybe getting the Infernal Drake.
Oh, they can't take the Baron fast enough.
Them off. They have to know Gragas is on the bottom side of the map now here, and now Tentakai is going to be pulled back in. Very
it's Ornn!
He gets stunned up. They
it's
are
Ornn!
a bunch of damage on top of him. He does go down.
That's
another tackle back through. Smartest is going to try and take this fight here, but the peel back is going to go through. Leona goes to the backside, flash away, Justify staying alive. Mike Oxmal now takes down Seawolf. Projecki gets slowed down. Obelisk to try and stall out the fight. 3-man knockup should help the disengage on the backside here. Baron did not go down, though. Obelisk is still here as well, so they can't go back and start it. But neither of these teams want to give up on the fight yet. This is going to be a flash forward. Smartest 2 gets on the True. True goes down. Now it's just Obelisk and Projecki. They have to run for the hills here, but low health bars mean that Why Are You Running shouldn't be able to get the Baron. They head back that way, though.
Yeah, Baron is going to be the call here. Set probably going to be looking to teleport here. They do take the Baron quite fast if they just focus on it because of the percent damage from the Cassiopeia. Obelisk can definitely steal, though. If the Yasuo was still alive, I would say it would have been definitely worth it for Exertion to really back off, but Yasuo being down, it's not really gonna matter, and we are gonna be seeing.
Comes down.
Oh,
Tendakai trying to go for it.
wait, what are you doing?
Here, Tendakai is teleported in. He has no way to get out now. Now,
no.
Smartest 2, he tries to go for Projecki, but he can't get it. Tendakai is actually a scary threat. Low health bars. Reeves has no mana, unfortunately, so Tendakai should be able to trade back quite effectively for himself, but he has no extra durability. He should go down at the end of the day. Justify does pick that one up, but the Baron goes the way of Exertion.
I get why you running tried to back off the Baron because he didn't want to burst damage it, but it doesn't help the fact that they were still in the middle of bursting it down. Baron was already so low, you couldn't afford to back off Baron because now, because they have no way of stopping Gragas, because everyone's just like, yeah, it's okay, you can have it. They literally give that up for free. They literally just did that, and now, you know, we thought it was really good for Exertion. Then it was really good for already. Now it's back to being really good for Exertion because they literally got a free Dragon handed to them. Then a fight that they ultimately lost, they ended up getting a Baron from it because of a huge misplay. You know, you thought Seawolf thought he was going to be able to do, or Spartans was able to do something about it, but Tentakai's teleport, why was that enough to constitute stopping the Baron take when they could just take it and they could get a free 2 kills? It's really confusing if you think about it, but in the end of the day, what really matters is that right now Exertion are an extremely huge threat. They basically have all their win cons about to be met, and it's gonna be really hard for why you're running to pull this one out. Granted, the Cassiopeia is gonna be very, very strong.
Yeah,
they do have that going for them.
Yeah, you can't sleep on Lord Reeves quite yet, XT, but you have to say all the eggs are in Exertion's basket right now. They're sitting on Soul Point. They have the 2 Infernal Drakes. They have a very small gold lead, but more importantly, they have the Baron and the ability to take these fights under tower. They're the engaged team. They have the option of going for these, and this will be the group mid and maybe trying to just shove Baron minions down Why Are You Running's throat. They do have a bit of defense in Smartest 2 to keep the 4-1 from really panning out, but it's really, Why Are You Running up against the wall here, looking for a way back into the game?
Ooh, Death Brush. I like Death Brush. Do you like Death Brush?
I love Death Brush. Fnatic Death Brush. Gotta get
Deadly
spotted
Yoda?
out, though. Seawolf is actually going to try to go for the backside here. Gets pulled in through for the face breaker, but here comes Call the Forge God. Will be looking for the knockout. Obelisk takes the kill to Lord Reeves here. Now Mike Oxmal is all by himself. He should be an easy frag. True picks that one up. No worries. That is going to be a tower going down in. This is going to be the team continuing to push. Now they're 2 dead for 30 seconds. They should be able to grab this wave and maybe look for the inhib.
I think While You're Running was a little bit impatient. Really wanted to see if they could find a pick, so they tried to go to a better spot. They found the pick, but it was Leona, backed by her whole entire team. And not only that, Lord Reeves is just in a really bad spot to really get any spells out. Gets caught over the wall by the broad spells from Exertion Gaming. And at the end of the day, you lose your carry, you lose the turret, and you know, slowly but surely, you see the folks over at Exertion continue to build the lead bit by bit. So, Dragon Soul, that's what everyone calls it these days. I swear I'm warming up. Dragon Soul is going to be the win con here. Fight's going to break out in about 30 seconds, and there's so much gold over on the side of Exertion right now. Granted, no upgrades on the carries just yet, so there's still a little bit of a breathing room, but you're still looking at about a very hefty gold lead. I would say about, you know, now about maybe like a 4K gold advantage because of the upgrades on the side of Exertion.
Yeah, Ornn is coming through in clutch. Of course, like he does, giving over those free items. And now this is Soul Point and Infernal Soul. Huge, huge advantage if they're able to take this. It has been spawned up, but this is not going to be something that Why Are You Running will willingly give up.
Yeah, you got to fight for it.
Yeah, trying to take positioning, but it's going to be really hard to get in. You have the ability for the Ornn to just kind of zone people out as well as the Leona.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Drake started. Tendakai trying to get the damage back through as the pillar is going to get spawned
though.
up. Last breath on the backside though, and True goes in as the pile driver goes through on the Tendakai here.
Look at Lord Reeves.
The fight, Obelisk does go down, and this will be a great call. The Forge God though, huge interruption, and now this is the
this fight's doomed.
On the front side. Projecki goes in. Projecki gets the first kill. He's going to try and flash out and keep himself to safety. True is able to take a double kill now. Lord Reeves all on his own. Seawolf trying to be tanky. He is going to get the stun up onto the Cassiopeia. An easy pickup. Double kill now for Projecki. Triple kill now for True. Easy ace. And this is an easy soul. This is potentially an inhibitor on top of that. Exertion, it's their game to lose.
Yeah, this is just a really unfortunate situation for Why You're Running. Their biggest weakness of the composition, we didn't talk about it as much, but they are a response comp. They counter engage. They fight after they realize what's already been given to them. that fight, they tried to force by going onto the orb because, like, we can't engage because they were pressured to start a fight because they didn't want to lose soul. And I will say, Lord Reeves was in a really good position to start off, but the orb was just soaking up so much damage. But compared to the front line, the Braum and the set just completely melted. Yes, the Wit's End does help with the magic resist, but there's no sustainability on the set because he doesn't really have a lot of health after that Trinity Force. I was hoping for maybe a Sterax, or maybe, you know, something like the Spirit Visage, or maybe even, you know, the Adaptive Helm to give him a little bit more tickiness. But unfortunately, attack speed only really helps if you are continuing to split push pressure. Set was built to do that. He was trying to commit to the fight, and as a result, the rest of, you know, where you're running suffers for it, and they just get melted. You know, Exertion now, this is their game to lose.
Yeah, and, you know, I hate to ask the question because it's likely going to go Exertion's way, but is there a way for Why Are You Running to get back into this? As you said, this is a hard-to-execute comp they've got. They've already shown that they aren't able to execute on it so far, and now it's staring down Soul. Is there a path for them to get back into this?
Yeah, well, if you give Why You're Running enough time, they're going to be able to build up that Trundle and set. They did, unfortunately, kind of start rushing, you know, split push damage items to start things off. So they are going to be very squishy, but once they start building some resistance, get your front line for a
here we go. This is going to be the Braum on the front side here, but he fails to believe the call. The Forge God here. Smartest 2 should be going down quite easily. He does get the Showstopper off, but it's going to be interrupted by the Zani's Hourglass. Lord Reeves goes down on the backside here. Immediately 3 dead. True is now unstoppable, and this should just be the march in to end the game.
Everyone just got melted. There isn't really much else to say there. Unfortunately for Why You're Running, they don't have the front line to constitute being able to defend Disophilios and Cassiopeia. They have the tool, sure, but they just don't live for long enough for them to do your full DPS. And as a result, that's going to be the game. Exertion Gaming, they get the Dragon Soul, they got the Ornn going for them. They just have so much on the plate. This is Why You're Running's game to win. Or lose. Sorry, they lose.
Yeah, so Exertion, they want to pad that KDA a little bit more. They will be able to take that. There was some shutdown gold going through. Obelisk did fall, but shouldn't be much of a fight here. And you got to think, Why Are You Running have to take this comp back to the lab in Game 2's draft if they want to have a chance at winning, because they had a lot of good counter picks this game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But, you know, well.
Actually, we're fighting a little bit here. Smartest 2 on the front side here. Seawolf now trying to dive in the backside here. Stuns up Lord Reeves. They're trying to trade back. Low health bars, though, for Exertion. They may not be able to finish things out quite yet. He jumps into the fountain and goes down with his own ultimate. Unfortunate. Hate to see it happen, but Tentakai and Projecki should be able to walk away. They'll take an inhibitor for their troubles as well. Why Are You Running not dead yet, but on life support?
Yeah, Exertion got a little bit greedy there. Completely understandable. They wanted to get more, I guess, on their plate. They wanted to, you know, basically end. But, you know, thankfully for Exertion Gaming, you know, they aren't out of it. That wasn't a throw. That was just more of a, you know, we're going to give you guys a chance. Why You're Running do have to do a Desperation Baron here. They need to find something to stall the game. They need to find a way to, you know, get back. And, you know, this Baron definitely is going to be a start. But you can't let a steal happen again. This is not a 50-50. Obelisk will have the advantage here, but granted, I don't think they're going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah, Dr. Monaco is there to take the blast code away.
Actually going to do it again.
Things up. Obelisk goes for it. He steals it. Obelisk steals the Baron. He stalls for a little bit more time, but irrelevant. That's Baron the way of Exertion Gaming, and here we go. Tentakai looking for the fight. Projecting trading back on the Smartest 2. This should be the set going down, and there is just no love here at all for Why Are You Running. They are the ones running away as the teleport comes through. Tentakai's not done. He could have teleported in the base. He wants blood. Jeez.
Dude, that Braum was like, yeah, you know, I'm not trying to stop you, but yeah, go right ahead. No miasma over the wall to stop him from going in after the blast cone. Just why? How do you let that happen again? And obviously, you know, that was never a 50-50 Baron fight. You always have to keep that in mind, but Desperation Baron goes wrong, and Why Are You Running, unfortunately, just, they take the L. Not much else can be said.
Exactly. Exertion Gaming with a commanding performance, and we really thought this was going to be Why Are You Running's game here after those first few plays in the early game happened, but all of a sudden Exertion, they found the small advantages, they found the team fights that they were able to take, they had an easier comp to execute on, and, you know, Obelisk stole a couple Barons, so that helps.
Yeah, unfortunately, towards the mid-late game, when Exertion started really popping off, Why You're Running kind of lost the advantage they originally got. Remember, the early game for Exertion, very, very questionable. Why You're Running gets a really, really good fight, and a lot of individual mistakes kind of stop them from beginning to press that lead forward. Once again, they got to split push pressure going with the set. If they got, a really good skirmish in with not with Exertion trying to catch up, if the Aphelios didn't get put so behind for being so greedy, maybe things could have been different. But unfortunately for Ari Reading, they just kind of get outskilled a little bit. Exertion being able to have more tools to kind of punish Lord Reeves, as he was the only only main DPS, given how far behind everyone else from Mario Ren is set back in. Exertion, very well done by them. They don't break under the pressure. They don't break after a really tilting early game, and they take the W.
Yeah, and especially look at that Kaisa damage. Projecki 12-0-12, almost 40k damage over the course of the game. I almost wonder if we were going to see the Kaisa on the ban table in game 2. But speaking of game 2, we will be hopping into the champ select for that shortly. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have game 2 of Why Are You Running versus Exertion Gaming.
There's a fire that burns inside. It's an instinct that never lies. The target's tattooed between our eyes. Stand and fight under the lights on the higher stage. A part of your life they can't take away. Just like the blood running through your veins. Everyone's watching through your eyes. There's only two options, win or die. Win or die. Win or die. It went from a spark to an open flame. Now destiny's calling out your name. So reply, so reply.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in the lobby here for the Upsurge Minor League Week 1 playoffs between Why Are You Running and Exertion Gaming. And I think we definitely have to be looking at Why Are You Running taking their comp back to the lab and saying, how can we adjust to deal with Exertion Gaming? And how can they draft a better composition, one that they can execute on better here in game number 2?
Yeah, so we're looking at why you're running it. On paper, the draft wasn't really that bad. They had a split push pressure. They had a good 4-1. They had a good, pretty decent team fight. But the only problem they really had was a lack of engage and a lack of an ability to push your lead or find a way to kind of play from behind. They didn't really have I mean, sure, they scaled pretty well, but you saw the front line with the Trundle and Set being basically melted along with Braum. And there wasn't really a lot of opportunities for Lord Reeves. A lot with Wire Running, unfortunately, dropping their early game advantage. And then we look at Exertion, where, you got basically a Kaisa that just popped off and a team that, they fell behind early, but they managed to catch up, and then it was Orb time. So I'm really expecting to see Wire Running make up for that engage weakness. I would expect to maybe see a lot more of a counter engage, but we are going to be heading to draft here on my end. So far, pretty much the same bets. I expect a lot of mid lane priority once again.
Still a bunch of mid lane. Now, the one thing I want to mention is that Kaisa. I would not be surprised if Why Are You Running decide they want to ban it off the table, because Projecki did pop off on it. I know you said that there are a lot of counters to it, but clearly it's a champion he favors. It's a champion they can execute on that synergize with their comp, but bans come through. Malzahar, Senna, Cast, and Diana, same bans as we had in the last game. And that's going to be the set locked in here first for Exertion.
Hear me out, because you got to realize that Kaisa is just a pick that relies on a team composition in order for her to work. And all the pieces were in play. She had a really good front line. She had and she could output damage without a worry in the world. But unlike Misfortune and Philios, she's not someone you could slap onto any composition and be like, yeah, we got a comp here. So I wouldn't expect Exertion to pick it early, but maybe something you could get away with. Var's getting it locked in, one of the strongest ADCs at the moment. Very, very safe. Can either go lethality, which is basically the safest, or I would say the second safest ADC in the game right now. Or you could go on hit and melt tanks. And, we're looking at a very, very different game here, especially with Aphelios no longer being on the table here. And Alawi locked in really early would be really interesting, as Set could still be flexed, but that is a counter pick towards the Set. We're looking at Set.
The Alawi is going to be locked here, so interesting pick here for Why Are You Running. Hoping that that's going to be the answer possibly to the Set in the top side. Like you said, obviously it can still be flexed around if you so choose, but is going to be good into any tank's top lane if Exertion decide they want something like the Ornn. And there's a lot of opportunity there for Why Are You Running to use that. So,
but now you go into the problem where it's like you're playing and you announce to the table, yeah, you may have a pair, but I have, a 3 of a kind, and you don't realize that they actually have a full house. You just revealed to them your counter strategy, and now Exertion get a draft around that. So I would expect no Kaisa here. Ezreal gets locked in instead, and now you're looking at probably an Ezreal Yuumi lane, and now while you're running, you're just like, well, I mean, I guess you can play passive and do nothing. So Alawi doesn't really get the opportunity to do a lot of damage. So this basically sidelines Alawi to a side lane, and guys gotta get locked into. Still basically the best AP jungler in the game. I'm not really surprised there.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. The Ezreal as well, like you said, well, Kaisa off the table here, so that probably will be the Ezreal here for Projecki instead. Quite nice. And then the Thresh here picked up for Why Are You Running? Yep. Blind, no counter pick on the table yet, so Exertion do have the option of picking something they want, unless it gets banned out here. But are we expecting more mid lane priority to come through?
You gotta ban Yuumi. You better ban Yuumi. That's gonna kill. If you're Why You're Running, I mean, I think you could deal with Rise. You just banned Kiana and then you banned the but we'll have to see. I definitely think the Alawi ban was a little bit too early, and you also have to keep in mind that Why You're Running do have the counter pick. Red side very, very powerful in patch 10.7, and very surprised they played their cards really early like this. But we talked about it earlier. Kaisa wasn't really the problem. It was the playstyle for Why You Running that was the problem, and I think they kind of need an engaged jungler here to kind of offset their situations. They're hovering their Ice ban. They're gonna ban the Rise, and they're just like, Ezreal, Yuumi, you know what? You can have that Exertion. You can have the opportunity to make our lives harder to pick you guys off, and Yumi Set or Yumi Ezreal, that's already a recipe for basically annoying. So unless Why You're Running have like a god tier strategy here to use to Yumi, I do not expect Yumi to be taken away.
Yeah, so still thinking about their pick here, but you already have the Thresh. I don't think there's any chance the Yumi
There it
gets
is.
picked up. So Olaf is going to get secured for the jungle. Again, at least a very solid pick there. And now Exertion Gaming, they do have the option if they want to go for that Ezreal Yumi bot lane you talked about. And the mid laner here, again, all of the priority was on mid lane. Yasuo available if they decide True wants to go with that again. Had a lot of synergy with Obelisk in the early game, so that's another option for that duo.
Yeah, honestly, I mean,
we'll be
I see
locked
why
in.
not. Yeah, just do it again. And they picked the Nautilus. They're not going to do it. All right, respect Exertion. Respect. I like that. They're not going to play the stay in the back end, let this Ezreal farm up. They actually want to get some kills here and there, and they're going to lock it to Nautilus. And, you know, that takes a while away, a lot of pressure from Why You're Running. But they finally get a little bit of engagement off. It's not a true engagement. It is a start. But I would like to see something maybe like the Orianna. But Cassiopeia gets locked in. They want to run him back that mid lane matchup. And now Why Are You Running? You're looking at a composition where they do have side lane pressure. They have a good 4-man, but you rise to another problem. They don't really have a front line. Well, Exertion Gaming, they have ways to burst down this Cassiopeia and Varus once again.
Yeah, definitely backline access going to be really easy for Exertion, especially with something like Nautilus with a targeted knockup.
Yeah.
Perfect fodder for True to just say, all right, I'm on the backline, I'm on the Cassiopeia, which is where we want to be, and then be able to take that kill. And without the Cassiopeia, it's going to be interesting to see how they can deal with that.
And you know what? To go back to an analogy I was making earlier, someone in the chat actually brings up a really good point. So imagine this: you're playing poker again, but you're giving the opponent a handicap. So you're gonna announce to your opponent, "Yeah, I need an ace and a king to beat your hand, but you can go into the deck and take out any card you want, so I won't have the strategy." So in this case, you know, Gragas Yasuo setup, Ezreal Yumi setup. Why You're Running's like, yeah, I mean, I don't care about the king, but you can have the ace. So that's really questionable why they banned a Kiana Rise again when, you know, the Gragas Yasuo very, very successful Exertion. Maybe Why You're Running not really respecting the Yasuo too much with the Alawi here, but I expect the Alawi to be more as a split push threat. So really interesting to see how both these teams kind of play around their compositions now in a certain situation. I would say this draft once again favors Exertion.
Yeah, I do think, once again, Exertion has a lot of ways of starting fights. They have the sort of rushdown style comp like they had in the last game where they could just press go, get all their buttons in, and go on the offensive. Why Are You Running, again, with sort of a comp that wants to peel back, that has the Thresh box to break up a fight, the Alawi Leap of Faith in order to break up a fight. But Why Are You Running weren't able to execute on that comp in the last game. It was all Exertion's favor. They were the ones who were able to just say, press the go button and let's go, boys, and Why Are You Running couldn't figure that out. So more or less, this is Why Are You Running saying, no, the comp was fine, give us one more chance to execute on it. And that's a really risky thing to be doing here in playoffs, to be telling your opponent, we gave you game one, that's fine, we can do it this time around.
Trust me, this time it'll work, says Why Are You Running. This time we will get the win with the exact same strategy that we pulled off with the same obvious weaknesses that you guys exploited us for. But I swear it'll work. Like, you know, in Far Cry 3, they put it the best, you know, trying the same thing over and over again with different results is basically the definition of insanity. And Why Are You running it back in a different way, but kind of the same. But we'll really have to see how that really plays out. I'm not really excited for Why You're Running here, but you know, maybe this Alawi pops the heck off and maybe things change. But the thing I just don't want to see is Exertion making really bad early game decisions, because once again, the Ezreal Yasuo doesn't really do a lot. This team doesn't really do a lot until they hit level 6. Don't do anything before level 6. That's what I just need to say to Exertion. Please. Thank you.
Papa XT is upset with both of you, Exertion and Why Are You Running? So
yeah, no one is safe. No biases here.
So things to look at then. Exertion definitely need to be trying to hold off until they have those level 6 power spikes to make the plays. Why Are You Running? They need to be able to actually execute on this peeled back comp. Now, I am excited to see at the very least, we don't have just the tank versus Set top lane matchup where nothing happens because you can't kill Ornn and Set can't do anything about that. You have Alawi Set. There's opportunities here for Smartest 2 and Tentakai to pop off, and Smartest 2 had some good executed plays in the early stages of last game.
The thing about the Set Alawi matchup is that this is actually one of the matchups that Set does not enjoy. As as a set abuser, I know firsthand the pains of trying to lane against Alawi as you try to fight her, but Alawi can fight you better if you have tentacles, right? And once again, it's a situational flex, if you can make it work. But Set's gonna have a really hard time trying to get into Alawi. It's gonna get punished a lot when he goes in. And Alawi is able to out-sustain and out-trade Set if Set goes too in too deep. But that is considering that both of them are at the same level. If Set is able to maybe get something like, the Blade of Rune King setup to get a little bit sustain, to be able to out-DPS Alawi, or some, resistances, this does change the situation kind of quite a bit. But we will have to see on how this really works. I personally think it favors Smartest, as this is not a matchup that most Set players play, especially in the current meta where you're playing a lot of Orns, a lot of, tank matchups, a lot of close tops, a lot of matchups that, are very popular, I guess. It's an unpopular matchup, which I think Smartest might have the advantage of.
Yeah, and this was his option as well. They picked it early. They said, hey, I'm going to show you this one card I've got right here. Can you beat it? And like we've been talking about, why are you running really, really confident with this draft? They're saying we're going to run it back. We're even going to show you what our counter pick is for your set. And they're going to have to execute this time around. We saw the makings of it in the early stages of the game for Why Are You Running. They had that early advantage. They were able to capitalize on Exertion's mistakes. So there was that spark of hope there for them. The question is, can they do it this time around? And maybe there is the option for them to figure it out, especially if Justify goes something like the on-hit Varus to kind of shred the front line for Exertion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Obelisk and Tentakai not playing champions that are that durable in the grand scheme of things. So if they get obliterated, there's not a lot Exertion will be able to do if their front line disappears as the fight starts.
Yeah, a really good point. I'm glad you brought it up. You have to, what is this Varus doing, and how's he going to affect? If it's an on-hit Varus, I would say I'm very sorry for Justify, and I wish him the best. But if it's a lethality Varus, then he doesn't have to play up close and personal and doesn't have to risk being prone to like a super dive. He gets to play very, very safe, gets that lethality, early power spikes. Even if he's set behind, he's still going to be a threat against True, Pajeki, Tentakai. A lot of the members here are surprisingly very squishy for Exertion. They're not, but they do have a lot of engage. However, if Why Are You Running just decides to play a little bit more annoying and just poke people out with Varus, and then an impatient Exertion game goes in with Lord Reeves able to clean up, that does change quite some things. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the burden of execution, I think, does lie on Why Are You Running, on Justify being able to hit those skill shots. But just to touch on the duo here between the mid lane and the jungler again, once more real quick. Olaf this time around, obviously the same exact setup for Exertion, but this time the Olaf for Mike Oxmal. How is that going to change how this early duo plays out?
Olaf's scary. Back to you, Home Knight. I'm kidding. Olaf is continuing to be one of the best junglers in the game right now. Like Trundle, he has a lot of great synergy with the current buffs to Nimbus Cloak. Once he gets that upgraded smite, he's going to be able to close the distance very, very easily and provide a lot of early game damage, especially with the Warrior Power spike. However, he does fall off quite a bit in the mid to late game, and it's going to be really hard for him to really get into the backline, especially if it's someone like Ezreal. So I expect this Olaf to have a good time in the early game, but towards the mid to late game, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to kind of get an advantage. It's really going to be on Mike to see if he can get an early game advantage for this mid-top side of the map, as opposed to bottom, where it's basically going to be a farm fest between Ezreal.
Mike Oxmal looking to make it happen. But before we hop into our pre-game intermission, we do want to give you guys a quick plug for our sponsor, Kono. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, it all starts with your peripherals. From keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more, our friends at Kono have got you covered. Kono works with the world's best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of the best gaming peripherals around. Kono have been huge supporters of us here at Upsurge and have made generous contributions to our prize pool. If you need to find a new keyboard, check out the Hexgears X1 RGB low-profile Bluetooth mechanical keyboard. You can use the discount code UpsurgeGG for 7% off your first order. For more information, head over to kono.store to check out all they have to offer. In the meantime, while you're checking that out, we'll be loading in. When we get back, it'll be Exertion Gaming versus Why Are You Running Game 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the Rift for Game 2 of Exertion Gaming versus Why Are You Running? Why Are You Running, of course, down a game already and looking to run back their comp from the last game.
Hellmite,
Yeah.
you hear that? It's the sounds of a non-lethality forest.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. No lethality Varus this time around, going on hit. And you've got a few things I think you want to say about that, right, XT?
I'm not going to go on a huge tangent, but the problem with we have the same exact problem for Why You're Running from last game to this game. They don't have a front line. I don't think this constitutes playing double DPS, or mobile DPS, might I add, against a competition like Exertions there that goes super ham and wants to pick you off. So it's very questionable to me why you do not do the lethality virus, but I digress. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing here. But either way, let's see what happens. Hellmite, we're in for a good one.
Yeah, I think so. This should be interesting at the very least. Why are you running? Trying to run this back. I know we've said that before, and it should be some pretty standard starts from the junglers. Once again, we have Red Side starting on that top half. And Mike Oxmal, it was the last thing we said before going to break. He's going to have to execute on this game if they want to get ahead. Wasn't really able to find the plays early in the last game, so keep an eye on that Olaf as he picks up that red buff and should be looking for it sort of a clear towards the bottom side.
Here's some fun stuff to really talk about. We are going to be seeing a lethal temple Ezreal, and that's actually going to help him trade a little bit better and be able to weave in more auto attacks in between mystic shots. So realizing that there is absolutely no take on the side of Why You're Running, this is a pretty valid choice. The only thing I'm really confused about is that we're not seeing the Hail of Blades on the Yasuo. Granted, you know, maybe he's preparing against this Lowy that he may have to lane against, but either way, nothing out of the ordinary here after that, aside from the Lethal Temple Varus, which I didn't want to see. And some trades happening.
Yeah, Dr. Monocle actually missed that flay on a stationary Nautilus, so maybe not ideal, but the hook did miss. Yeah, so maybe a little bit of nerves getting to him as well, you gotta have to think.
Another thing to really point out, too, is that we are going to be seeing the Conqueror onto the Cassiopeia as opposed to the Phase Rush with no peel on her team. Like, a lot of no peel. So, we're going to be seeing a lot of, like, weird deaths again. Like, people getting picked off when they shouldn't be being picked off. And a lot of people dying more faster than they should be dying. So, either way, we're in for a treat. And I'm glad that you're here to join me here. Today on Upsurge Minor League, Hellmite.
Yeah, you know, wouldn't have it any other way as the lead does come through. Flash actually already burned from Justified, but the hook is on the backside onto the Ezreal. Projecting forced to Arcane Shift away here. Following that flash as the Olaf flashes in as well. Justified gets beat down by Seawolf, who takes first blood. Projecti is still here. He's throwing out the damage to try to get through. Double kill now for Seawolf. Seawolf picks up. Oh no, Projecti does take that, but you hate to see it happen. Exertion are the ones to pop off in the early stages of the game this time around.
Now I understand why the Yuumi wasn't locked in. Because of the lack of engage coming out from Why You're Running. Exertion just like, alright, then we'll just punish people for mistakes with Nautilus. And Nautilus does a lot of early game damage, and he's basically popped off, you know? Supports these days, one of the requirements that in order to be a good support is to have the ability to 1v1 to ADC in the early game. And we basically just saw that with him against Varus, picking up a double kill against Olaf, of all people, who couldn't stand up to the might of Nautilus. So, yeah, this is some unfortunate stuff. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, you hate to see it happen as Obelisk here. They're looking for the play on the top side of the map.
Oh,
here,
nice
Smartest
flank.
2 is there. Now Tentakai trying to come through. Should be able to get the face breaker pulled back in. As
that flash.
here they go onto the Alawi. She does have the healing, but
wait,
forced to flash away now. Mike Oxmal all by himself. He's zoned away from his own tower, looking to try and make the alcove play. Obelisk is going to hit him though. True gets the knock up. The punch is in, but actually almost trades back. But Tentakai is going to be able to take that kill. Great rotations from Exertion.
I think that was a little bit of a misplay from Artist. He should have tried to flash over the wall, the Dyrus flash. I think that would have been a little more appropriate. Unfortunately, when you're flashing towards a flashless Olaf, that gives Yasuo a way to kind of close the distance and be like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You want to die? And then, yeah, Olaf just dies. So This is not Mike's game. We talked about Wolf having a lot of early game pressure. I believe he no longer has that. He's in a bad spot. You hate to see it.
Yeah, having died twice on a pick that's supposed to pop off in the early game is not what you want to see at all. So Mike Oxmal, we said a lot of the burden of this game was going to be on his shoulders. And at 0-2 already, 5 minutes into the game, it's going to be on his laners in order to make it up. And are there any of these laners that can potentially pop off? Gonna go with a no on that one. Stumped you?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. I'm trying to... Maybe Alawi? I mean... It's just hard to kind of fathom the fact that while you're running, you've just lost too much. And they're going to continue to lose more and more because they've lost jungle pressure. They have this top lane pressure going, sure, but the rest of the map is not really at a good spot right now. A split pusher is as good as their current team state. And to start things off, being about 2K down, with a lot of pressure being lost across all lanes besides top, is not a good way to start. Granted, Exertion can still throw, but I don't think they're going to make that same mistake again.
Yeah, probably not. They might have learned from their early game as here comes a Lantern play to try and get onto the Ezreal here. Looks like he will be able to get out of the way. Now, there was a Drake started up on the opposite side, though.
Here for why you're running.
Seawolf, he's going to try and zone things up. He's got the Aftershock keeping him alive a little bit.
No longer good.
It's just going to go down. Low health bars, but nobody has fallen yet here for Exertion. And now True is in. True has got the wind wall up. He's looking for the Tornado onto Dr. Monocle. That will land. Last breath comes through. Easy kill picked up. And now this is going to be the Thresh falling on the opposite side. Projecki gets that one. Back to the Drake. Exertion goes. They're just getting everything they want.
Yeah, so when a team starts dragging without their ADC and their ADC is too far away to... I hate to see it. When their ADC is too far away to do anything, and the ADC is Ezreal, what do you think is the correct play? Is it A, go towards the dragon with the numbers advantage and 2v3 them while Ezreal is too far away, or B, walk towards the Ezreal, hold his hand, and guide him towards the dragon, and then fight? The answer may surprise you.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
Like, why? Like, that's not even something you could, like, that's just weird. Like, I don't really have anything else to say there. No ultimate to top side might actually be a little bit bad for Smartest here. With Executioners calling for the set is going to be really good, but look at this, a roam for the top side. Smartest does not have flash.
Yeah, Seawolf is there. Seawolf is not quite level 6, though, so looking for the Dredge line. He's put on the shield. He is going to miss it, but will be arranged to get the auto attack pulled back in. Tentakai should be able to take that no problem. Miss the hook, get the kill anyways, is where Seawolf is at right now. And
doesn't matter. His auto attack screw it. He literally had all options covered. Good job, Seawolf.
Seawolf knows what he's doing. Of course, he's very ahead on on Nautilus, unfortunately. So can kind of afford to make those really silly plays. You just kind of throw hooks out and say, yeah, if this lands, it'll probably happen.
At this point, might as well just go AP with Nautilus. I mean, just go. What is it? Gun or Hextech Revolver into
Protobelt, right? For to get
Protobelt. There you go. And then just like burst everyone down, and then build, I don't know, maybe Hourglass, get a little bit more damage here there. What do you like that Helm Knight? Just be super fed. By the way, Justify is just getting destroyed.
Oh, Projecki actually, he's forced to burn the heal here. Tries to 2v1, field himself maybe a little bit too much. Does have True Shot Barrage coming up before too long, so
a little bit too overeager there, but. Yeah, he is really hamming out the damage.
Oh, flash forward into the Chains of Corruption, which actually lands Justify.
Oh,
picks up the shutdown there. Summoner spells burn, but they get it, and it's actually a flash forward.
He's fed! The Nautilus is fed!
Here comes the Nautilus. He takes the kill. One last tower shot. Justify goes down.
All right, now I see why the Yuumi was not locked in. I now respect it. But the Yuumi not being locked in for a composition that has a lot of it's pretty respectable. I can respect that. Tentakai, though, may have just missed.
Tentakai gets cold on the top side of the map there. Leap of faith coming out from Smartest too. So nicely done.
Yeah, he does not have right now he doesn't have right now the ability to kind of. Oh,
Hold
wait,
up. Mid lane, last breath.
too much
Not
happening.
unless it's fed. Oh, Black
Oh!
Shield, but even the stun
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. True picks it up. Seawolf survives, keeps the
Yeah.
bounty going here.
All right, in the top side, you don't have Blade or Rune King yet, so you can't really out DPS this Alawi, who has a lot of great base stats. And now, you see the problem here for why you're running, or not the problem for why you're running, but for Exertion, that they have the advantage. Projecki.
Oh, Projecki in a bad spot. Ooh, that death sentence tickles his backside, but he gets to safety here. Looks for the two-shot brush, try and finish off the kill, and Mike Oxmall, but can't get it.
Okay, so you know the age-old question the enemy team has a Fed Nasus. I don't know what to do. How do I solve the problem? Does that situation sound familiar to you?
Yeah, just had it today, actually.
Yeah. So the general solution is to beat the rest of the enemy team so down to the ground that the Nasus is just because a non-factor. I think that might be the game plan here. If Exertion can't continue to exert a lot of pressure on the bottom side of the map, then the ally shouldn't be that big of an issue. But right now, it will be an issue for Set. Set right now does not have a completed item to really duel against this Alawi. And granted, Set is completely fine playing from behind, as he does have a lot of base stats that make him very, very good. Such as the ultimate, the showstopper. But we will have to see on how Exertion handles the situation.
Yeah, Exertion actually handling the situation by sending their jungler bottom side. They actually.
Why would you walk back in?
He's gonna take the damage anyways.
Oh my
Here
god!
comes the ultimate, but Justify got pulled to safety, so Exertion swing and a miss. And why are you running there? I think they're just stalling for Smartest 2 to keep scaling.
Maybe. Dude, Justify is just... He's really living life on the edge right now. Totally fine with Gragas being there, but you know what? I would just walk up and without my support. He trusts the Lantern. Thank goodness for Dr. Monocle, but now we might be seeing a fight.
Here we go, Chain of Corruption onto Obelisk. He's going to use the stopwatch to stall for a little bit of time. Dr. Monocle is the subject of aggression here. He pops his own stopwatch to keep himself alive. Here comes the barrel launching backwards. Projecki takes 2 right off the bat. No, sorry. Seawolf, of course, got one of them. Has to keep that build going. Hooks back in. That one's going to get handed over to Projecki.
That was...
Double kill now. Nicely executed. As here we go, mid lane True actually pops the ultimate, but can't complete the all-in. Lord Reeves too close to his own tower.
Dude, that was nasty from Obelisk, dude. That barrel just made Justify... You know, obsolete.
Tenta-Kai gets Tenta killed. No answer for that leap of faith. Tried to go for the ultimate play and gets taken down. So Smartest 2 still popping off.
You waited for that quote. I know it.
Oh,
I know you did. But yeah, that bot lane fight really, really well done. Utilizing the stopwatches there. But now you have to realize that once again, the elevated room is still there. Smartest 2 still probably the strongest person for you're running. And, you know, it's basically a 1v9 at this point. Can Smartest split push his way to victory and win his team fights for his team? And the answer may surprise you. I still think it's a no. But, you know, things could change. And Dr. Monaco right now is doing something really risky.
Ooh. Oh, no, didn't quite get it. That arrow looked like it had potential. But also important to note, Smartest 2 first tower blood, so...
Hey, the ADC did steal it, so if Justifies books, it was worth it. But it wasn't him that stole it. So, you know, you hate to see it.
Yeah, so not quite the AD carry he wanted to be stealing that dragon, but a steal is a steal, right? So, kind of counts, half credit.
I don't think the transitive property works here.
Yeah. Either way, 14 minutes into the game here, 3,000 gold lead for Exertion Gaming. Despite the Alawi being quite large, they are still behind. And why are you running now that the early towers are dropping? They have to find ways to enable Smartest 2 and get him into situations where he can basically carry their team.
Well, to start things off, putting Smartest 2 against weaker laners than him is a nice touch. And Smartest 2 hurts. But Obelisk, once again, weird barrel. A little bit of an unfortunate combo.
Hook comes through though. Seawolf, he's looking for it as here comes the discharge. Ezreal ultimate comes over the backside here, but doesn't quite get the kill. Dr. Monocle goes down, but here comes the teleport.
That's an Alawi, dude.
This is Smartest 2 coming in. He's sitting on the leap of faith here, but everyone plays how you should when against an Alawi, which is walk away from her. Don't let her press R. And that happens here. Smartest 2 though on the chase. Trying to
She's
find something
pretty
out of
fast.
Seawolf. Looking for the Nautilus
That's what
shutdown
it's
gold. Is he getting crowd controlled? He doesn't get
Oh!
movement off. Obelisk takes the kill there. Now Mike Oxmal are on the backside. He's looking to try and finish Upper Jackie here as they're trying to trade the damage back. He does take the kill on the Ezreal. Seawolf is dominating now, but at the very least, those are trades for why are you running? And if you're the team who's behind, a trade is always worth it.
And but look at the mid lane. True just basically had a free lane to himself, dealt so much damage to that tier 2 mid tower, and basically split pushing to counteract that bot lane play. And not to mention, Smartest is like, 4 people coming towards me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use my leap, and then he just dies. So that was pretty unfortunate. You hate to see it.
Yeah, does not have the durability quite yet. And to be fair, there's a ton of crowd control on the side of Exertion. They have the ability to, if they can chain their crowd control, prevent Smartest 2 from ever pressing R. And if you can't get off your R as a Lowy, you are not as tanky as you think you are.
Oh yeah, 100%. And now, as this game continues, we have to wonder, what will Why You Running do next? And the answer is pretty hard, because they don't really have a lot of options now. Their split push threat now is been neutralized a little bit. Team fighting still very, very strong for Exertion. And, it's getting to that point where they're going to pop up in the mid game when, Ezreal and Yasuo are going to be very, very strong and going to be able to kite away from Smartest whenever he ults. So the situation continues to be harder and harder here for Why Are You Running? And right now, they just have to hope for more uncharacteristic mistakes here for Exertion for them to capitalize on, and maybe they could get something. And that usually comes from side lane pressure.
Yeah, Hulk is going to pull in Mike Oxmal as they're trying to zone him out of the way. He does pop the Ragnarok as Herald does go through. This is going to be Justify caught out. He goes down. Hook lands on the backside, but Monocle, he's forced to flash back to his team as here they go onto the Alawi. She does get the Leap of Faith off. She gets the healing down.
Oh, she hurts.
Shuts down Nautilus, but she does fall. And now True, he's going onto the Thresh. He is able to pick that one up, picks up the double kill. Obelisk is on a killing spree. Alawi finally got to press R, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, Justify was minding his own business, and then the lantern was thrown the wrong way, and then Justify just kind of cried. True God, once again, that's the problem. There's not really a lot of peel for, there wasn't any peel at all for the carries of that fight, and Lord Reeves was just split pushing. So that fight was basically unwinnable from the start. Why you're running, just get destroyed. And Exertion Gaming, they take another W. They have Rift into pressure with it. And, they get closer and closer to Dragon Soul. And it's looking like a lot like last game, except this time, Exertion didn't really make a lot of early game misplays. They handled the weak side of their map really well. They won the lanes. They wanted to win it. And now the composition is going to punish, the weaknesses of why you're running in. This is looking like a game 2 going over to Exertion.
Yeah, no, there still is some game to play, but definitely their game to lose is Seawolf. Actually, he gets stunned up. He is able to proc the Aftershock, though, to keep himself alive. Dr. Monocle is going to be taking a bunch as Obelisk flashes on the backside here. He's able to take the kill. Cask is going to go through. Justify gets pushed back towards the team. Projecki goes in, takes the double kill now. Meanwhile, True just solos the Cassiopeia on the backside. Not even a problem. She's still trying to scale, and now they're onto the Drake, pushing towards Soul Point here. It is just Smartest 2 alive, and if that hasn't been the story of this game, I don't know what is.
I'm still baffled by how this draft kind of played out. Why are you running? Drafted basically the same composition, which fixed one of their weaknesses, but still didn't fix another weakness of theirs, which is the fact that their back line is just so vulnerable to getting picked. And we saw there once again a barrow to separate Justify and Lord Reeves gets picked off. He even had exhaust. Didn't matter. True just took him down, and it sucks to see, but this is just why you're running. I guess they drafted Comfort. They're getting exposed for weakness, and Exertion are playing to their strengths and of their composition, and there's not a lot of room for them to come back here. So it's really Exertion's game to lose, but we really need to make sure that Exertion doesn't do anything bad, and Projecki almost took a fight he didn't want to take.
Yeah, so Projecki takes some chunks, maybe feeling himself a little bit too much, as True is definitely doing that. He gets caught up underneath the tower. He should be going down. Yes, he does. That is shutdown gold. But meanwhile, Harold on the bottom side of the map. This is Exertion trying to shove in. Smartest 2 and Mike Oxmal, they're out of position here. Hook is going to land on the Lord Reeves. He should be going down, no problem. He does get the stun up. Ignite is ticking. Projecki does take that one. The tower survives, and now here we go. They're on the backside looking for Projecki. Seawolf flashes. He actually gets himself out. But meanwhile, Chain of Corruption on the backside here. Obelisk is the sacrificial lamb. Justify takes that one down. Why are you running? Save their base for the moment.
Yeah, a little bit too greedy there from Exertion. They lose someone from the top side, and usually when you get a man down, you don't have any split push pressure. That's usually the point where you gotta call for a reset. They finally pick up the Cassiopeia though, but they lose 2 for it. So yeah, they already lost 2 kills for that pick, but they do get the turret. They still have the lead, but that is still a little bit of shutdown gold going over to Why You Running. You know, it's going to help Tavares a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough quite yet for Why You Running kind of come back into this game.
Yeah, Why Are You Running? They have to play for time at this point. They have to try and get as many trade kills as they can and just stall the game. Now, the base hasn't been broken quite yet, but looking at the game timer, 21 minutes in the game, Baron is on the table here. And there's a very real possibility that Exertion just set this one up and go for it.
Something I do want to kind of point out here, Ezreal just flat out bought a Lord Dominic's, or Mortal Reminder, sorry, not Dominic's. And instead of the Blade Rune King, and that's literally putting a lot of trust in your team to do all that external damage while you're dishing out, you know, while you don't have lifesteal for yourself. You have a little bit, but he also doesn't have boots, which is pretty brave for Projecki. But that just shows that he has a lot of trust in his team. He knows he's ahead. He's playing a little bit greedy here. But let's see if he gets punished for it. He doesn't.
Yeah, can be a difficult champion to punish there, as here comes Seawolf. Looking for the hook, but can't quite find it here yet, as Obelisk is on the hunt with that Predator. Looking for Smartest 2. He gets the damage through. The flash actually comes out, but he takes the kill anyways. Feels bad, man, but that's the strongest member of Why Are You Running down. Baron is on the table here, and I would be very surprised if Exertion didn't just start this up. Seawolf should be more than enough to zone the team off, as pops the Titans.
Mike,
Wrath,
if you can hear me, you missed 2 Barons last game. This is your chance to redeem your. It's not.
Not quite as that is
can't get in.
Blocked by the wind wall here. Hook's gonna land on the backside here.
Oh, Monaco, that's brave.
Dr. Monaco goes down. There's not a lot of damage on the Baron here, as most of the team is over the wall trying to zone the team. Projecki finally goes back over to help.
He's gonna go for it. He's stealing.
Like,
He's stealing it.
He goes for the Ragnarok. He's trying to make the play, but no, it's not enough. Obelisk is able to secure that. And now True on the hunt here, trying to look down Lord Reeves. Seawolf looking for the hook here, as actually True, he gets stunned up. He is grounded. He is going to get that hook. Lord goes down, and now the knockup will come through. True still had ultimate. He will be able to take that. He goes straight on the Smartest, who pops the Leap of Faith. Is he faithful enough? He's surviving. He's life-stealing. No. Obelisk finishes him off with one last body slam, and that's the ace. That's the Baron. This should be inhibitors. Maybe the game is still a little early. Respawn timers are slow, but Exertion in fine form.
I don't think they ended here, but they do have a 10k goal pretty much set in stone at that point. Fortunately, Mike was actually 2 lows down. Obelisk gained a level during that whole entire fight because of people dying. So I thought that was quite funny. But oh boy, dude, that's just, you hate to see it, man. They're just 2 behind. They try to get some picks here and there. They didn't know really what to do for the Baron. They are going to be losing to Dragon Soul here. And at this point, you know, like, the no boots Ezreal is actually going to not get punished here. He's going to do it. He's going to win a game without ever buying boots. And, you know, I don't know who's coaching Exertion. I'd be a little bit upset. But, I mean, screw it. You're fed. So, I guess you get that excuse.
Yeah, when you're 10,000 gold up, you know, Morellonomicon, whatever you want to buy, whatever you want to not buy, you know, sort of, you have that option. As the Soul is going to go down here, getting all that extra durability. Now, it's not quite as ideal as the Infernal Soul was in the last game, but actually flash forward into the showstopper here. Tentakill, sorry, Tentakai, rather, goes into Dr. Monocle, who there's nowhere he can go. Is this going to be Seawolf? No. He can't keep that KDA, but this is going to be another inhibitor tower under siege. Smartest 2 only just now recalling he was splitting topside.
Yeah, I think you should have been turtling the whole entire time, buddy, and grouping as 5 and maybe contesting a fight here and there. That was just a really unusual call, and as a result, they've just basically lost the game.
Under the Alawi, trying to stall this out, but isn't able to press R. Now True underneath the tower. He is able to stall out with that with a stopwatch. Justify pops his own stopwatch to stay alive for a little bit longer. Projecki walking around the backside of the Nexus, keeping them from ever basing. Lord Reeves now should go down. Exertion, a quick 2-0. They showed they had the skill. They showed they had the ability to play this rushdown comp quite well. And they're going to be moving on here in the UML playoffs.
That just happened.
Yeah.
Jesus, like, I don't even know what to tell you, All Might. That game was an experience. And when you start the game off with feeding 3 kills to the bot side, when you had the advantage, something's up. Justify, unfortunately, did not have the greatest game series in his life, I would add. And unfortunately, it was a big deterrent for his team, giving up so much to the bot side. Not to mention Seawolf completely punishing the immobility of the compositions time and time and again that, Why You're Running was drafting in. It's just, I would say it was just a tough game overall. The tools that Why You're Running had, they didn't utilize it fully. I think all the bans went to the wrong place. And they never really respected, what Exertion Gaming was trying to pull off. And as a result, While You're Running, they get knocked out. And Hellmite, we have witnessed the first steps here in the UML playoffs.
Yeah, definitely an auspicious game, I would say, for Exertion Gaming. They're really proving themselves. They know what they're doing. They know the kind of compositions they can execute on. They have preferred picks, and they're showing up. This series was very lopsided, and it just goes to show that they are definitely contenders here in the UML playoffs, and a lot of teams are going to have to be looking at this series and saying, what can we do to deal with it? I think we talked about a little bit more off camera than we did in the actual game, but the draft from Why Are You Running, especially the bans, were not where they needed to be at all. And especially the run back, I think we're kind of agreeing was not ideal. They could have tried to flex things up. Instead, they go back for the same comp, and it doesn't really pan out here. So they're going to be running home. Unfortunately, Exertion will be moving on. But before we move on, I do want to ask you, who is your MVP for this game?
Who was my MVP? Actually, it's a no-brainer. I think Seawolf is basically the defining factor for this series. Being able to pull out the Leona and Nas to completely punish a core weakness of Exertion's composition, along with being able to consistently be able to get set up Projecki. I will say Projecki played a really good game, but he wouldn't be able to achieve this game without his his aggressive support. And Seawolf being able to consistently pick off Justify and Dr. Monaco in the bot side. Not only that, but setting up a ton of plays for his team, allowing, Exertion to really excel there. I would definitely say, the Gragas Yasuo was a composition that was given to him, was basically given to him twice. Projecki basically had a lot of safe picks here and there and had picks that complemented the team composition. The team composition wouldn't be possible without Seawolf's, champ pool and also his ability to kind of just continue to punish a weakness in the team. My honorable mention would go to Obelisk, as he did play very, very well. Got 2 crucial Baron steals in the last game, but unfortunately, I think Seawolf just edges him out a little bit for being a little bit more consistent. Sorry, Obelisk. But yeah.
Well, if you're not going to take him, I am going to take Obelisk. Those Baron steals were clutch in the game number 1.
Sure.
I think he executed well on the Gragas, like you said. If I can't take Seawolf, I will take Obelisk. Very nice lead done from him. And that is actually going to be it for us tonight on the cast, guys. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. I have been Joe Helmut Silva, joined here tonight by Elton XT Mock, and of course, Hypertension on the cast. Excellent production as always. And we will be back next week with we actually will be back tomorrow with the UJL. Same time, same place. So make sure you guys go ahead and tune in for that 8 p.m. EST, of course. Once again, thank you all so very much for watching. We do appreciate it. And we will see you all in the next cast. Have a good night.